Hey everyone, I'm Rather Incoherent, back with more Subnautica DeathRun base building, and as you can see, we've done some FCS stuff between videos. First, I've increased my audio settings to more easily hear animals in the distance. I realized that the Reaper roars that were scaring me were actually pretty quiet on the recording end. And on that note, in the sound settings, there's actually no creature volume, which is something I find absolutely bizarre. So instead, I've cranked master from 75 to 100, dropped music a lot, voice a little, and kept ambient at 100. Hopefully the Reapers will come through a lot more clearly for you. They're probably going to terrify me the first time I hear them, though. Now, looking at this little monitor here, it's not like those full-scale resource things you've been seeing in the previous episodes that work between bases. All this does is allows you to take out a single resource of your choosing. Right now, it's diamonds. I can reset it, and then when I click on it, instead it's going to ask me, what do you want to get? I'm going to put a diamond in. Now it tells me how many diamonds are in this space, and I can click on it to get diamonds. As you can see, it's positioned in a way that lets me put my diamonds immediately into that, and this locker here allows me to throw everything in my inventory bar 2 items into this locker, which I then use to withdraw a completely full inventory of diamonds, and I throw all of it into these 4 ore consumers. Right now, I actually don't quite have enough diamonds to get too much work done, and the reason we're using diamonds instead of gold is I finally figured out a trick with FCS Studios, and it's not so much a trick as like the intended way to use it, but now that I understand how FCS is supposed to work, I can use my drills pretty much in any of these biomes that are nearby. Let me show you how it works, because they've all been moved from over here back down to the Mushroom Forest where I originally wanted them. Now before I head over to the Mushroom Forest, you might notice things are a little bit bigger around here. There are substantially more solar panels. I spent a good chunk of time off video improving my base in ways that were in line with what I was already doing. More solar panels, more refiners. I haven't added too much onto my base, but as you can see, there are windows freaking everywhere. Some of these will probably get turned back into steel, like these windows in particular, you can't really see anything out of. They don't really help you know where you are in the base. But I've made as much of this as I can out of glass, because that really helps you to understand where you are when you're moving through the base. You can see I've installed a couple more power storage things over here, and inside the base, some of you may have noticed it already at the start of the video, my current max power is 50,000. We'll talk about that vertical connector going up in a second. It's the one thing I've done that's completely new between videos. None of these rooms that were previously purposeless have changed at all. However, this room, my original bioreactor room, has changed a lot. Rather than using a singular bioreactor, I'm using the Alternagen bioreactors from Field Creator Studios, and there are 4 of them in this room. I mean, it's ultimately not important in the grand scheme of things. As far as power goes, it hardly matters. This locker is filled with the specific biofuel that you get from Field Creator Studios. Mostly, this is just here because I like it. I like having diverse and different rooms, even if they're all just giving me power in the same way. And now continuing on our way towards the Mushroom Forest, if we were to pop down, this would all be largely the same as it has been in the past, with one major exception. The drills are back, you can hear them right there. I have a remote storage here. I currently have my drill set to get only titanium and diamonds. Titanium for building supplies and diamonds, well, for money. I used to have them getting sand as well, and I've turned all my sand to glass, even after all my glass additions. I'm blind, I can't find the glass. Okay, so my point about having tons of excess glass is a little bit wrong because I'm out of excess glass. I do have 21 quartz, which is 10 sand, or 10 glass rather, and 22 sand, which is just straight up 22 glass. So I really just need to make this into glass and redeposit it. We have plenty of glass right now, so I don't really need to get any more. Popping outside, the big thing that I learned... Alright, you're good. I was worried you were stuck there. The big thing I've learned is how to connect this directly to a base. Down here, there is a programming page, which is terrifying, because if you click on anything, it tells you this, and it's like, oh god, why would I know how any of this works? And the answer is you pressed I on this, and you scrolled down, and you read what it was telling you, and it eventually started to make sense. So, if you want your drillers to connect to your base and you're struggling with it, pop into your base, open the Field Creator Studio PDA, and on this, you'll see a base ID. It's not base 222. For this base, it's BS257. I think it's BS something for all of them. So coming back over here for these drills, if I want them to connect to the base and pull power directly from it, what I need to do is enter this command here. There's no way for me to double check it just to erase it, so I'll just type it again. You take this, you grab what's in the inner brackets here, and you replace it with BS257, and that will connect it to the space if it's within the range, and these obviously are. So that's how I get them to pull power from the base. It fixes all the problems I was having, and it's just much, much nicer now. So as I head up, you might notice that there's something weird going on above me, and I may have a massive vertical connector going to it. So let's go talk about the big change between videos. I didn't want to do this on camera because it's really just grinding FCS for the resources, for the credits, and waiting to be able to purchase everything, except for building the connectors up. I've got this glass tube, which appears to be a little bit smoking, I guess. Not sure what's going on there. And this is nice, but I've got better observatories in mind. I have an above-ground observatory, and it can show you everything. Not that you can actually see the islands of the mountains because, well, they're in cloud banks for whatever reason. But it can also show you the giant fuck-off windmill platform that I've created down here. It is sadly at its maximum size. I can't add anything more to it. I'll show you the inside of it shortly. Coming up to the surface of the windmills, you can see the observatory comes up directly in a hole in the middle of them. You can only have 15 windmills attached to an operator platform at one time, so this is pretty close to its max size. There should be 3 more to make it symmetrical, so let's go add them real quick. And this is one of my favorite things in the whole mod, is just like how well made all of this stuff is. Because honestly, it's almost an entirely new system. It feels intuitive, it makes sense, everything has decent UI, it just seems like it works. Now we have symmetrically made these extend further out. It looks perfectly in place with the game. Maybe it glows a little bit bright, but so do other things in the game. And most importantly, my base down there no longer pushes power anywhere. It pulls power from this telepower pylon, and this whole massive rig is going to be powering every outpost base I ever make, probably. Because each of those windmills is 1100 power, there are, I think, 14 of them. There are 13 actual windmills, 1100 power each. That's like almost 15,000 power. I don't really have to worry about power in every base ever, and I'm just shunting all the excess power straight down here to fill up the batteries around the base, and to run basically unlimited ore consuming and drilling. And at this point, we largely have everything we could ever quote-unquote need from Field Creator Studios. Anything else we get really doesn't help us be better at its main job, doesn't unlock new abilities, with the exception of the teleporter, I guess. The teleporter is kind of a big deal. That's our next big purchase. And then we can finally move on to the aesthetic side of Field Creator Studios. But for now, I think our goals are actually real game oriented. There's a lot we've done with Field Creator Studios, and a lot that remains to be done. There are new bases to be built, and I have clear ideas for at least one of them. You can see the Amazon Prime truck landing in the background. That's always a good feeling. For today, though, I think our goal is the Sparse Reef. Previously, we've been to the Sparse Reef and never really explored it too much because, well, there were gulper leviathans around and I was spooked, but with de-extinction gone, it's hard to justify not going there. Also, what on earth is this? Is that the life pod next to the Aurora? Wait, I'm very confused. Those are mine. What the fuck are you? Hold up. Something's going wrong. I've lost my mind and done something off camera that I don't remember doing, I guess. Excuse me, who are you? This isn't a multiplayer world. People aren't allowed to do things without me knowing. How did I build stuff over here without intending to? Well, look, there is a lot of bugs in the current version of this, okay? As I've said many times, the current version of Field Creator Studios isn't even on the Nexus because it has lots of issues. Apparently, sometimes you build windmills and they just appear in other parts of the world too, I guess? Because I most certainly did not make these off camera. And you can tell I didn't make them very easily, in fact. Because when you climb up here, you'll notice that while there are 2 windmills, there isn't an operator platform, which means it's physically impossible for me to have made this because I have to make these through operator platforms. I think these are just a permanent feature of my world now, because I can't deconstruct these. I could deconstruct that entire rig just to see if it would affect it, but I can't get rid of these unless that works. So these are just here probably. Let me go see if I can get rid of them though. I just realized that there's actually no way for me to ever be able to remove this, because if they're connected to this wind operator, then when I try to return it off, it's gonna say, sorry, you need to deconstruct all connected windmills before you can turn this one off. And if it's not connected, then obviously there's no relation, so turning it off won't do anything. I'm still going to try, like I just saved my game, it's not a big deal. But I think there's literally no way for me to ever remove those rogue windmills, which is not a sentence I thought I'd be saying today, but here we are. Yeah, so even with my entire wind platform gone, those are still here. They're just a permanent feature of the world now, because I dared to play God and try to harness the power of the ocean winds. I guess I can live with that. So, in what I can only describe as a supreme plot twist, I loaded my save and the windmills are gone. I'm very confused about the phantom windmills, but that's okay, as long as they're gone, problem solved, I guess. Also, I am about 200 meters from where I originally was when I saved my game, because I was right next to the moth on top of the windmills. I'm just glad I'm not 500,000 meters into the void. Which is a low bar, but it's where I'm at mentally right now, because I feel like the game is gaslighting me. Now, if I recall correctly, before all of this nonsense, I was heading in this direction because I wanted to go to the Sparse Reef and do all the wrecks there, try to get a prawn suit, try to get grappling arms, all that jazz. Guys, come on, guys. Why are you like this? Why is everyone so angry? Stop farting, stop exploding, just calm down. I just want some quartz, man. And I actually am just here for quartz. I don't care about copper or titanium at this point in the game. Apparently I've been in this game before and have no recollection of doing so, but okay, if you insist, game. This seems like a very safe way to get quartz. As loud and upsetting as that was, I feel fine. I think it could have gone worse. Are you down there farting on my sea moth, dude? Stop that. What? Somehow I took the power cell out just now by accident? This is gonna be the most embarrassing death of all time. Alright, we're fine. Not fine on food, but fine mentally, fine in terms of our sea moth working. Apparently the acid does nothing to the sea moth, which is good news at least. One thing I do think the sea truck did in a way that was clearly better than the sea moth, it just has better vision. Like, the sea moth has so much of its vision obscured for no reason. You could easily pull all of this stuff back a lot and still have it feel very immersive without feeling like just 50% of my vision is obscured for no reason, which is, It doesn't bother me that much, but I've been watching a lot of Below Zero content recently, and the sea truck's just got some really clear upsides compared to all the stuff I've been using. Alright, I don't think there's anything in the Sparse Reef for me to be afraid of at all without de-extinction. I think if I get too far to the west, I can run into some warpers. I can get spooked by the shadow of a reefback, that's always an option. But generally speaking, I think this Sparse Reef is just safe but creepy in the base game. Now in terms of resources here, I don't need gel sacks. I would like to get some rubies. I need some eye stalks, that's true. I did not know eye stalks even got this big. I really don't need lithium, I can mine for that at this point in the game. Rubies, however, are still off limits to me. And while I can mine for glass in the form of sand, I can't really mine for quartz, so quartz is still greatly appreciated. This is probably already enough rubies to last me the rest of the game, so I guess I can stop gathering. I will head down, open the life pod, see what's going on with the data pad.
Location uploaded to PDA.
Is there not a data pad here? Surely there is one, and I'm just missing it.
New PDA data.
Maybe not. Weird. Alright, let's get back to the sea moth and come over to the wreck that's just above us right now. But a portable air source is always a good thing to have when exploring a wreck. No reason to get ahead of myself. Oh, wait a second. Right here, just on the ground in the pitch of black, there is a power cell charger. Not that I need one, because the only things that use power cells that I care about can be charged in a moon pool anyway. But hey, I'll take it. Make my base feel a little bit more complete. Alright, I want to be facing west, I think, if I'm looking for this wreck, because it should be closer to sea treaders. I always get a little bit disoriented coming up out of here. This used to be part of the game I knew very, very well, but it just isn't anymore. But this is the area I'm looking for. Oh, speaking of not knowing the game well anymore, for like 3 videos now, I've meant to start by saying, hey, check out the upgrade facility. Oh, speaking of parts of the game I used to know very well, for like 3 videos now, at the start of every video, I've had a little note saying, use the modification station and upgrade your tanks to high capacity or ultra high capacity. and upgrade other things. Like, I have multiple modification station recipes that are very important. I just haven't been doing them for literally no reason. It kind of makes me very sad. The thermal plant is probably completely useless to me. Like, I might make one at one of my bases just to say that I've done it. But I mean, you've seen the state of power in my base. We are well and truly out of the reach of thermal plants mattering. Is there a good table to surround by office chairs? Can I make like a boardroom table? I don't think you can. I think you can only make like small bar tables. You can't even make a proper dining room table. It's very sad. Oh, these are torpedo arms, not grappling arms. That's so disappointing. Man, I am struggling with basic controls here. Oh, my inventory is full. I should just be throwing things into the sea moth in that case. And I believe if you go down a little bit, there's still a little bit more that you can find here. I'm not sure how much. All right, apparently nothing on this run, but I think stuff could have spawned down there. Coming back up, looking around. Is that anything? No.
30 seconds.
No, I should probably actually get in the sea moth and breathe the air, huh? That would be a good start. It's looking like there's not too much more lying around here, but maybe at the higher ground there will be. You are just titanium at this point, which I really don't need. I can mine for all the titanium I'll need for the rest of time, so that can stay. I think that's the first time I've actually laser cut a door on a wreck in this entire series. I think we're on like episode 9. It's our very first use of a laser cutter outside the Aurora. A little bit weird for how long I've had access to this tool. But yeah, I'm not really too concerned about progressing the game in sensible ways. I'm mostly concerned about doing really dumb aesthetic things. What do we have?
New blueprint acquired.
Oh no, I'm finding science junk. I thought I broke up with science junk. Can I get in here? Yes. Alright, joke's on me, it's time to drown. We made it out. I am refusing to carry science junk. We're not doing it this time. There's something scannable here. Oh, it's a light stick. Alright, cool. Light sticks are one of the very stupid things that I've never used before that I absolutely intend to use on these bases. Because, I mean, is it even really a base without a lit up walkway going around it for no reason? We'll figure that out in the future, but I feel like there's some way to do a cool walkway around the base with the light sticks on it. Power cell chargers, again, they're not actually useful. They're really more aesthetic to look like a base than because I need them. It's everyone's favorite way to drown, the laser cutter door. Or fumbling with your tool hotkeys, whichever comes first, I guess. Alright, in our next room, we've got more power cell chargers. I don't know why I keep opening my habitat builder trying to scan things. I've just been building for so long. Hey, reinforced dive suit. That's actually really good. At this point, though, we really do need to make a point to go to our base and actually upgrade our stuff.
New blueprint acquired.
I'm not sure what I need to upgrade the death module for the Seamoth, but I'm absolutely certain that I'm able to do it already. And I think that's everything there is to do on this little wreck. But that doesn't mean it's the only wreck in the area. There's another wreck not too far to our west that we can interact with. Before I go there, though, because I'm safe to do it now, I'm going to go directly up to the floating island and eat some food. Wait, where's the floating island? I thought it was, like, directly above this wreck. This is the reef back near the floating island. Is it? No, he's not high enough. The reef back near the floating island is closer to the top of the water than that. Oh, yeah, I've got a beacon for the floating island at this point. Could have just looked for that, huh? It feels weird feeling safe at the floating islands after playing with De-Extinction for an entire playthrough. But just like, man, it makes me very, very sad. De-Extinction's such a good mod. And, like, of all the mods in the game, I think De-Extinction is actually my favorite one. Twiststeel's add a meaningful predator with a unique behavior and traveling in packs that is, like, very different to deal with than everything else. It adds Gulper Leviathans, which are scary in the same way that Ghost Leviathans are, because they aren't announcing their presence and they're very aggressive, unlike every other creature. And then on top of that, they just mess with your game knowledge, because you're so experienced with the original Leviathan locations that having a bunch of Leviathans in all these locations really messes with what you view as safe. Now, looking at this, I'm kind of sad, Originally, I was hoping that the floating island would be further to the left. I'm going to be making a base here for Sparse Sea Treader's Grand Reef, I imagine. Let's go scout out that location now while we're in the neighborhood. So as far as the map is concerned, my Seamoth's current location is pretty much the exact middle of these biomes. In this direction, we have the Grand Reef, or not the middle, the intersection. But yeah, Grand Reef down here, no arguments there. Sparse Reef up here, there's really not anything to see. But the issue is that coming over here, it doesn't really feel like Sea Treader's Path, it just feels like more Sparse Reef. Really, this is just a Sparse Reef base overlooking the Grand Reef. And I kind of don't feel like Sea Treader's Path is a biome that you can justify calling a biome. It's just Sparse Reef but with Sea Treaders, or a Grand Reef but with Sea Treaders, or fuck off, leave me alone, Warper, don't touch me. So I think instead of worrying about Sea Treader's Path, I'm going to find the best place along this edge to build, somewhere that I feel like is really aesthetic and has a big drop-off probably. This feels like it might be a good one. Somewhere around here, eventually I'll build a base, and ideally it'll be in a position where it's able to have a huge vertical connector upwards to the island. That would be very nice, and it looks like that's incredibly doable actually. So yes, at some point I'll have a floating island slash Sparse Reef slash Grand Reef base, and I'm gonna go ahead and say, sorry Sea Treaders, you're not a real biome, you don't get a base. Now, despite all the shit I'm talking about Sea Treaders right now, our actual goal isn't Sea Treader's Path. There is a big wreck in there. I know it contains the Cyclops shield battery, which I'll eventually need to finish the game. We're not doing that, so it hardly matters. But there could be stuff like grappling suit arms or prawn suit fragments that I really, really want. I don't know if it's nighttime or if it's just this dark at 200 meters. But here's the base I'm looking for. Now, warpers are around, I've gotta play safe. But it shouldn't be too bad. I don't know why I need prawn suit propulsion arms. Maybe I'm gonna build a prawn suit with every type of arm and line them up in my base somewhere, who knows. But I'm getting them anyway. Fuck off! Should I just be finishing the game before I do this? Honestly, yes. I like the fact that I'm currently alive, let's go. I've been thinking on it as I head back to home. I legitimately am terrified of warpers. I've never really been hit by warpers in my 200% damage playthrough, but I'm at 300% now. I know warpers hurt in the base game, and having watched someone else's content, I've never seen them get killed by the warper, but they have said that warpers one-shot at 200% increased damage, and I just believe that. There's no reason they'd be wrong about that sort of information. That's the sort of shit you remember forever once it happens. So, warpers are honestly my biggest threat right now. They can rip me out of my vehicle when I'm being chased by leviathans, and they can just one-shot me on their own. They don't need anyone to help. So, the way you make warpers not an issue is they're only attacking you because you're infected, so you gotta get cured. In that case, it's time to go get cured. We're going into Lost River. And then we're going deeper and deeper and deeper until we finish the main quest line of the game. So some of the glitches I've experienced are definitely to do with base IDs getting juggled around. For some reason the game loses track of what base is supposed to be which. That's probably why we're on like base 222 right now. But you'll see that this is switched back to push. And if I were to go to pull here, you'll notice that base 264 is not the original number of these power pylons, or not power pylons, of the wind farm. But I'm not getting power from that right now. And in fact, my base ID itself has changed. And my drills have stopped working because that means they're no longer getting power from me. Before we were base 257, now we're base 268, and all my drills have broken as a consequence. Okay, so I have all my story progress stuff in the Seamoth. I have in my inventory what it takes to build a hatch, a multi-purpose room, a habitat module that lets me use it as a beacon basically and change its color if I so desire, and all the SES stuff I need to connect it to the worldwide network because we're going to be building a base. Before we do any of that though, first we have to drunkenly fall into the water as always, and then we need to make some upgrades. First, we need to upgrade this depth module. I'm sure we have what it takes to do it, I just haven't been doing it. Coming over here, Seamoth depth module needs plasteel ingots, nickel, and enameled glass. Isn't my max depth currently 300? You can't get nickel at 300 meters. There appears to have been some confusion. I guess I'm not using the Seamoth then. Oh, that's very funny. Alright, so using the Seamoth in the Lost River is not the plan. I thought that's what we were doing. It's not what we were doing. I'm just wrong about that. Which leads to some confusion on my end about what I need to do next. I could unlock the prawn suit. Building the prawn suit takes resources that are from Lost River, so that's not a solution either. So to go into Lost River for the first time, just like the magnetite and the jelly shrimp caves, I have to go by hand. For now, let's just worry about getting a pair of ultra high capacity tanks. If we're going by hand, it's a little bit spooky to have ultra high capacity tanks, as they do slow you down, but I mean, the alternative is just not having enough air to feel safe, so we're going with this. We have Ultra Glide fins already. Sea Glide is in hand. What else can we upgrade? I know there's more to this. We can make a propulsion cannon. No, thank you. I can make a reinforced dive suit, and by can, I mean literally have to, otherwise I cannot progress in the game any further. This needs synthetic fibers. That's no issue at all. Because for a while now, we have been growing blood kelp. To make synthetic fibers, all I need to do is just swing down to the garden, grab 1, 2, 3 blood kelp, stab once. Oh, my inventory's full. It is kind of big, isn't it? Alright, fair enough. I guess I'm taking 2 trips to the garden. Inventory space is at an all-time low. It kind of sucks. Turn this into a benzene and go get the synthetic fibers now. I quite like the massive floating windmill farm above my base. I could understand if someone else thought it was hideous, though. Now we can make our reinforced dive suits. We've already got everything else that we can need. We could, in theory, make a tremendous pipe network down to the entrance of the Lost River. That just sounds ridiculously hard. It sounds easier to just make a base, right? Put on the last piece of the dive suit. Throw away the radiation suit, as that problem has long since been solved. It looks like I have exactly enough inventory space to do everything I need to do. We can put this Seamoth module back in, because we can't actually upgrade it yet. I've got 1 inventory slot free. I can build everything I need to build. I have my double high-purpose tanks. It occurs to me that I'll need food going forward. To that end, I think I'm going to... I guess Bulbo Tree, because it doesn't go bad. Seems like the better choice. But we need some Bulbo Tree that's actually in our base so that we can physically pick it up with a worldwide network. Otherwise, it's useless to us. Alright, we've got 3 Bulbo seeds ready to be withdrawn at the next base. I think we've done everything we need to do. We need to eat before we go. That's true. Just always some sort of issue here. I don't have any clean way to do this. My inventory is completely full and there are no lockers that don't have a purpose. So I'm just going to create a locker here real quick. Get rid of that because it takes up so much space. It is hilarious how big that thing is. Because we're going to have to wait for food to grow where we're going. You know what? I can throw some more lantern fruits in here. That'll be helpful. Alright, I can throw that many in because I don't have enough inventory space to hold anymore and move stuff around. Tetris is a nightmare. Let's go. We've done it. We figured out what we have to do. It's not the answer I wanted, but it's the answer we're getting. So, we're going to Lost River. And in fact, I want to build the outpost today, and tomorrow we can start with actually progressing into Lost River. Now, I don't remember exactly where the entrance is. I'm going to guess it's this gaping hole in the map. Is that correct? It is that gaping hole in the map. I am correct. We need to go through Bulb Zone to the entrance of Lost River here, and I've always been planning on making at least a little outpost here between Bulb Zone and mountains, being like a mountains observatory that marks the entrance of Lost River. It just seems like a good base location. And that's what we're going to go set up. I'm pretty sure we can do this safely. I don't think we should have to worry about too much on this entrance. Ampules and bone sharks, but I think we should be safe from reapers. That remains to be seen, I guess. I should probably reload the battery on my Sea Glide before I leave, because it is my only mode of transportation right now. Alright, enough dilly-dallying, enough preparing, let's go. Oh, somehow I got my hotkey switched around and all that. But we're heading northeast, we're going to the Bulb Zone Mountains border, we're building an outpost, let's see how it goes. The Bulb Zone is a very pretty and very scary place. I think it might be my favorite biome. It's either this, Lost River, or Grand Reef. I feel like most people are picking one of those 3. I think it's not my favorite bio. It's the most interesting one to me when I look at it at first, but I definitely prefer being in Lost River or Grand Reef. I think the main reason it loses out to Lost River, the main reason Lost River is the best biome, is because it's so much more diverse than any other biome. Goodbye! Look at him go. Alright, how close to this am I? I'm very close. Man, ampules are big, though. Yep, that's a Reaper. That's precisely what we expected to hear, but didn't want to hear. We're going the correct way. Thanks for not zapping me, Mesmer. It could have been very dangerous. We're going directly towards the Reaper, I think. We've got bulbs to hide in if we have to.
Detecting volcanic activity and several unusual electromagnetic signatures in the region. Exercise caution when diving deeper.
I'm missing a piece of titanium. Are you kidding me? I thought my inventory looked too small. I'm missing multiple pieces then, because that means I also can't... I was hearing a Reaper, and I heard the bone shark scream and just full panicked. Alright, we're coming back shortly. It's a very safe place. It's a great location for a home. Don't worry about it. I know it looks like a rough neighborhood at a glance, but I promise you, they've all got hearts of gold. It's a wonderful place to live. I built that stupid locker and used 2 of my titanium on it. That's what happened. It just hit me.
30 seconds.
No, even that's not right, because I need 3 more titanium. I still wouldn't have enough with 2 more. Because I need 1 more to finish the base, and then I need 2 for the hatch. I'm not quite sure why I'm so short on titanium, then. May as well recharge my batteries now. Alright, base, make me safe. He sounds kind of close.
Warning, emergency power only. Oxygen production offline.
That's fine. I just want to get some stuff out of my inventory. We got plenty of air in the tanks. Just slap these down on top real quick. Guys, please. Pull from this base. Yes, that's the correct one. Let me out. Okay, we should be good. We should be good.
Power restored. All primary systems on.
Put in these discs, and I don't know why I have 2 titanium spare right now. I'm very confused about that. But one of it's for this, apparently. Your name is... This is the Mountains Observatory. I'm assuming that one's named the Dunes Observatory. Good, good, good. You need an appropriate beacon color. Honestly, like, just black for the color of things around us. We're in the bulb zone. A dark blue is fine. Exclamation mark, because we are observing danger. I'm okay with that. Okay, now go to the other base. No. Global network, other base. Give me a load of titanium and that fiber mesh. Alright, we have a bed. We have 4 bulbo trees glowing. The base is marked. We have a terminal and a server. It is technically a home. Technically. Now, in the future, this needs to be expanded and made out much, much more. But for now, I think this is good enough. I just wanted this marked for future explorations before we ended the video. It seemed like a big piece of progress we can make. But I think before we continue into the Lost River, well, not even I think, I know. We need to do more FCS stuff. We need to buy another batch of all of this stuff to make a Lost River base, and then another one for the inactive lava zone, because we're apparently just going all the way down. Also, you can watch this stuff grow in real time. It's terrifying. Holy shit. Anyways, for now, I'm done. I've been Running Coherent. I hope you're enjoying the series. I hope you like this episode, even though we kind of just waffled around for a bit, didn't do a whole lot, it feels like. Regardless of how much or little we did, I've been going for a while, so I'm going to call it here. I've been Running Coherent. I hope you're liking the series. I hope you like the episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, Patreon, blah, blah, blah. You all know the drill.